Welcome to Bottled Up. I'm Lou. This
John.
is John. This is a series that we're doing on what we call clarification. Is we're taking certain things, aspects about the walk that you're on, and today we're going to record a series on love, aren't we? Love is an acronym. It's part of the program of Bottle Up if you join us as members. And we're just going to introduce, first of all, the heading is Love and Alcoholic, You Must Be Joking.
Yeah, it's probably what a lot of you are thinking out there. Love and alcohol, oh, come on, you know, get real.
Yeah.
I mean, you were married to an alcoholic for a long time, you know. How did you feel about it? I mean, did you love your alcoholic?
Well, obviously I married him and I was in love with him when we fell in love actually quite deeply.
Yeah.
After a few years, when it became obvious that he had a problem, I think if you introduced the word love, I would have engaged in it in two different ways. First, just said that the love is constantly being eroded, my trust, my feelings are constantly under attack, and I'm finding it very hard to continue to love him well. And the other way in which love was used is in my interaction with my drinker. We call this in the website the 4 Ps, but one of those is pleading. And so I would use my love a little bit as a what I hoped was a powerful weapon to remonstrate, tell him, how he was affecting our relationship, and the implication being, change, stop doing this. So that's where I kind of engaged with those two words.
Yeah. So, I mean, at the beginning, everything, usually you fall in love with somebody and it's all sort of, ooh, can't wait to be with them, all that. And, and it's kind of more of a feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
But there's this deeper part of love, which is, love is more action than feeling.
Well, I think you do, you do learn that.
Yeah.
But I think for me, with the whole thing about love and why I engage with this program and why we talk about love is, for me, a pivotal point in the relationship was when I realized that the drink was not only manipulating my partner, my husband, but actually, because of my responses and reactions, it was kind of manipulating me. And I felt I had really good reasons not to be very loving. However, it was turning me into a kind of rage-filled person that I neither recognised or liked. So I came to a point where I decided that I would stop reacting and actually, I suppose, defiantly love. I decided I would be the person who I was, and I would respond to my partner out of love, out of honour, out of respect, because that was who I was.
I think we're back to this sort of duality of love again, are we not? There's the in love, and there's the loving, and the in love is the sort of feeling that you have with the person. You fall in love and it's everything. It's the romantic books stuff, and hopefully we've all experienced that. I know I have. And then there's the loving somebody where you want the best for them, you want to do stuff for them, and as I say, that's kind of almost the way you behave towards a person,
And I have to say that romantic feelings and an alcoholic, that it's quite hard to keep those alive. But that doesn't mean to say you don't love. And a lot of the people that come into our program, we know still love their partner and are not ready to kind of bail out. But for me, just deciding that I would love. Now, looking back on it, I know as a therapist, if you read a film and read a book, if it's about love, then it redeems and it changes. Read a book about revenge, you end up with brokenness and, and these sort of things. So I kind of know the fruit of hate and love. But it was hard to remember that in the middle of all these other strong emotions.
But they're not necessarily the opposite. Hate is not necessarily the opposite of love.
What do you think is the opposite of love?
indifference.
That's what they say, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's very often people say it's indifference.
Yeah.
Because then you don't really have any feeling towards that person. Whereas hate, you still have the strong emotion towards that person.
Sure. I think what is really helpful in this is that I actually separated out the person and the behaviour.
Yeah.
And when we're going to talk about love, I think we're going to pick up on that.
Yeah.
So I began to say, I hate the behaviour, but I love you. Yeah. And that really helped me in terms of my responses. Obviously, I wasn't able to do it. It was a policy that I blew on a regular occasion.
It's an aspiration.
Yeah, it was an aspiration.
But just because we can't sort of hit the target doesn't mean to say we can't. We should not keep trying.
Yeah.
And I think probably you got some benefits from it. Even
Absolutely. I think it began to build the threads of our relationship, which was in tatters.
Yeah.
I realise now just what my anger did to him.
Yeah.
And so I stopped hurling my rage at him.
Yeah.
The other thing is I felt a lot better about myself. I loved myself a lot better. Because I became loving, I then felt I was a kind of a nicer person.
I think that's a very important part.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because what we're going to talk about in the next few videos, it's just going to be short videos, is we're going to break down love. Because love isn't just about an emotion. The love that we're going to talk about here is a tool that's actually part of a bottled up. And we deliberately chose that acronym. Okay, maybe we had to torture the English language a little bit to make it fit the acronym. But we did it because we wanted a positive acronym.
Yeah.
And you find that all the acronyms that we use within Bottled Up are positive.
Yes.
There's hope, there's love, and there's share. And that's no accident. That was a deliberate policy because we wanted to keep people, we wanted to keep yourselves, we wanted to keep ourselves positive in these very difficult situations.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you can go under.
Yes. So if you're sitting there fermenting and feeling angry, we totally get that some of the stuff that you're putting up with would test the patience of a saint. And we're not trying to close down your anger. Yeah. But what we are saying, and we do say this quite a lot in the website, is that to operate out of that anger and use that as the fulcrum for the way you do life is not good for your partner, it's not good for your family, and it's not good for you. Yeah. I tell you something, when I decided that I would be kind, I would be respectful, I would be honouring, I felt more power at that point that I had felt for years and years and years, because I decided I would be responsible for my behaviour. Yeah. And the more I did it, the more I felt I took me back, I took the situation back. Detaching in love is really important. If you join the programme, you'll find at the very beginning we talk about loving detachment, because I think that's really important. The maelstrom is it maelstrom? Maelstrom. Of emotions. You kind of need to to get disengaged with that a bit and kind of step back from that. Also, we say, remove yourself from behaviour that's going to make those emotional negative feelings worse if you can. Anyway, so I think we'll go on because we're going to stick to love. But yes, love your alcoholic. No, we are not joking. We genuinely feel that the way that you behave has huge impact.
Absolutely.
And we understand the romance, will need to be kindled again, but you can decide how you are going to operate as a human being.
I think you said something very important there, which was that it made you feel empowered.
Absolutely.
And I think, excuse me, that's what this programme is all about, is to empower you,
Yes.
It's a situation where you feel disempowered, and we're trying to help you not buy into that. In fact, to actually find a way out of that disempowerment.
Yes.
So watch the next ones.
Absolutely. Can we just say too, if you've never come across us before, we do not come out with trite and easy answers, and we totally understand some of what we say will resonate with you more than others. We take a very, very pragmatic pragmatic approach in our program. So
we do that because we've been there.
Yes, absolutely.
And therefore, we would not insult your intelligence.
Yes. And he, in case you don't know, he was an alcoholic give him 6 months to live at one point in his life.
Yeah, told of brain damage, liver damage, and then six months to live if I continued to drink. So here I am.
Yes. So
many years later.
Yes, too many years than you want to say here. Over 30.
Too many years.
Over 30. Yeah. Okay.
But the alternative doesn't bear thinking about it.
No. So come and join us. We'll be going through LOVE. We try and keep them as short as possible, but try and listen to all of these if you can, because they're all kind of one little set.
Okay.
Thanks for listening.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.